I haven't done anything to the traction engine this weekend. I've been a little bit busy. What I've done, I've moved my shelving over to the corner there and shoved everything else to make plenty of room. I've got rid of my old Southbend lathe, which is completely worn out, and I've ordered a new lathe which is going there. I'm waiting for delivery now. Right, as you can see, I've had a delivery of my new lathe. I haven't had the top up yet, but I bent back these lugs, ready to lift the lid off. I'll just go and get something to pry it off. Bit tough, I'll just get the lid off without filming it. Right, so I've got the lid off. In there's the chip pan, that's got to come out. Looks like there's a toolbox in there. Underneath the lathe is the part that goes between the two stands. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of the sides of the box and get everything out I need. Right, there's everything to do with the stand. Two legs. That bit goes between the two legs on them brackets, and that's the chip pan which goes on the top. And then the lathe will sit on the top of that. We've also got a nice lamp there. The digital readout I've got to fit on, which come with a lathe. There's a toolbox here. And what's in here? Right, that's the bracket for the digital readout. They even supply an oil gun. Live center, precision live center. Yeah. That's the jaws for the 3-jaw chuck. There's two dead centers. There's a sleeve that goes in the headstock when you take the chuck out. That's a 5 Morse taper with a 3 Morse taper in there. Chuck keys for the chucks. Screwdriver. Spanner. Oh, there's some change gears there. How many's there? Just the one? Just the one. Right, there's the bolts for bolting it all together. Some Allen keys. And that goes somewhere. Oh, I think that's for the cross-slide handles. That's right. Right, that's that in there. And also, we've got 4-jaw independent chuck. There's a faceplate there. And that looks like a spare back plate if I wanted to get a bigger chuck. Good. Now I've got on the actual lathe outside, they've got the two steadies there, the fixed steady bolted on, and the steady on the cross slide, which I'll take them off before I get it indoors. And I even might take the splash off just to make it easier to get in the doors. It's only 4 screws over there, like 2 there and 2 down there. And then I'll have to spend time getting all this grease off. She's a beast. Well, I got the lathe into the workshop. Next thing now to do, set up the stand. Right, I've got the lathe all set up here on the stand. I've set up the digital readout just by clamping a bracket on the holes that was already supplied. And I've got most of the grease off, but we're going to have a try now. Turn the power on and have a go. Right, so I should have a light there. Turn the power on. Turn the set up, and then I've got a power light there to say there's power to the motor. This is a jog button, but I got to remember to put this. There you go. Hear the click? That's all the safety switches working. That should jog, which it does. Now the power for the actual turning on the lathe is down here. So you've got a two-way switch. So that's going backwards. Look, upwards is backwards, and down, that's the right way. So that works fine. Now it's got two lots of feeds. Half nut here for when you're threading, and this lever is for that. But this lever here, you've got to move it one way. You've got to make sure the gears are in there. They're a bit stiff at the minute. So let's see if that's on, and that should, when I turn on the motor, connect up the, there you go, that's the power feed there. But it's great. So we'll turn that off there. Disconnect the half nuts anyway. And now this lever, I've got to switch it right over to the left. I think that's in. And then it should, when I sort this lever out and down, should, when I turn on, move the cross slide in. So there we are. Brilliant. So that's all working nice. So this lever here is the direction of the feed. So at the minute it's on like normal way. So when you connect your half nuts, you're cutting towards the chuck. And if you pull this handle out and flip it up, which I won't anyway, because I'm going to keep that in that position for now. That then, when you turn the power on, it will feed towards the tailstock, with the chuck rotating in the same direction. And here, in here, this case, you've got the gears which connect up everything to the gearbox. And with the certain gear sets, you've got millimeter threading, then you've got inches threading, then you've got inch feeds, that's for the speeds your carriage is moving when you're cutting, and millimeters. And then here your gearbox, you've got several settings which coincide with this for threading and the speeds. So later on I shall get it set to the lowest feed rates for cutting in a minute. But it's brilliant. I'm very pleased with my new lathe. Right, so this lathe came with a 3-jaw chuck, which is 160mm diameter. You've got these jaws, and then in the toolbox was 3 other jaws for changing. If you was turning between centres, take the chuck off, which also they got some lugs there to stop it untwisting, so you can run the thing in reverse if need be. If you took the chock off and put the centres in each end, you can turn something 3 feet between centres. It's quite large. And then the actual diameter of something you can turn really is governed by the height of the cross slide here. So from the centre of the chuck down to there, you can turn something about 7-inch diameter across the cross slide. You could pinch turn something 12 inches because you've got a 6-inch from centre to just over 6 inches to the bed. And if I took the gap part out just here, so that would be 12-inch diameter there, then you could do something 16 inches. Yes, big, but I probably won't take that off. Also, down on the floor, you've got a 250mm faceplate. You've got the 200mm 4-jaw independent chuck. And what I thought was a spare back plate goes on there, but what they've done is supplied that separate, because I'll have to mount that on the lathe, turn the register down to fit in there. I'll do that later. And for speeds, when you lift this up, you've got 3 speeds here, and then you've got a back gear. You pull that lever over, that connects the back gears, and you slower speed, so that's another 3, so that's 6 speeds. Then on the motor pulley, you've got another speed there, so you've got 12 speeds altogether with the back gears, which will show up here. Look, it's great. Also, the hole through the spindle is a really good size. That's 38mm through there, which is ideal. I won't have to buy such short pieces of metal now and cut them off. I can just run the bar through there, as long as I don't have it coming out there, you know. But it's brilliant. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set a tool up in there, a little bit of metal. I've got a little job to do for work. That'll be the first job I'll do. Just facing off the job. I've just turned the speed up a little bit, the next speed up. That's a better finish there. I'll do this little job and then I'll try a faster speed. Got the drilling. So there's the first little job I've done on my new lathe. So please subscribe to my channel and join me as I can continue now to build a 2-inch scale Fowler Showman's traction engine.